The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask for Candy, 101 ways to make your love and your life sweeter. I am Candice, HarperLoveCoach.com, honey.
Yes, you are.
Right? And I teach and inspire audacious intimacy to professional, powerful, grown women who want real relationships and seductive singlehoods. I always say dating and relationships can be hard, but love is easy. And you are listening either in the TuneIn app on your smart device, or you're in the garden. What better place to talk about love but in the garden on Armed Radio Global? Or maybe you are tuning in live here. I see Dave just joined. You're tuning in live here on Facebook, which means you're going to be able to talk to us. Right? Did Liz come in? What's up, Liz? Hi, Liz. And if you're on Facebook, I want you to do two things. Either after the show or on the side, I want you to come over and join the Creative Love Collective, and I want you to join Armed Radio Group News so that you can make sure to get our replays and that you can make sure to catch us when we're live every Monday. Also, if you want to call in, the number is 1-800-508-5431, and you can comment and you can ask me questions and, whatever comes up for you, whatever you're feeling, or you can just comment here live on Facebook if you're on Facebook. Now, those of you who've been around and come around and have come back every Monday, thank you. I love you. I love you for being here, whether you're listening out there in the world or you're here on Facebook with us. As you know, I am Candice Harper Love Coach, and I'm adding .com, everybody, because I renovated my website. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's looking beautiful, and I want people to go to it, CandiceHarperLoveCoach.com. Nice. My talent is conversation, my passion is personal growth, and my purpose is to teach and inspire radical self-acceptance in myself and others so that we can all have our best possible love life. Who doesn't want that? I know I do. Don't you, Beth?
Yes, I do.
And for everybody who's listening, my friend Beth Rooney is here. Woo!
I'm so happy to be here.
Right? She's my special guest tonight. She is a photographer, a TV production specialist expert, someone who knows what goes on backstage, right?
I have my own production company. I worked in the business for about 25 years.
Okay.
I guess you could say I'm an expert.
I say expert. 25 years, I say expert.
Yes, right?
Definitely.
Or crazy.
You know what?
Right?
It's like, how do you not be an expert and be crazy, or be crazy and be an expert and being crazy? Whatever. I think the path it takes to get to be an expert can make you crazy, right? She's also a Reiki healer, right? Mm-hmm. And a psychic goddess. And she'll tell you more about that later. Beth, talk to the people. Let them know who you are, how you came to all these things.
I'm doing awesome. Oh, my God. I've just always wanted to be an artist, ever since I was a little kid. And I guess that kind of took me on all these different journeys. And then being a baby of the 70s, I kind of was plopped in front of a TV as a child. So that was where the TV aspect came in. Because I'd watch all these amazing shows. I wanted to be a Brady. I wanted to be the Partridge Family. I wanted to play guitar. I wanted to hang out with, Lori and all of them. Danny. It was like, Danny, I wanted him to be my, little
when he was
crime.
Cute. Yeah.
Because he was just always up to no good.
Yeah.
So I was a victim of the 70s TV shows and pretty much 80s. And then I just said, I want to work in TV. I told my parents that when I was, I think, 4th or 5th grade, I wanted to be a commercial artist.
Wow.
And they're like, why did you say that? I wanted to be a commercial artist because I could put the avenue of TV, art, and I could get them both done at the same time.
Yeah.
But I never really had a direction because, you're an artist and that kind of...
We have a hard time having direction.
Exactly. Here's a camera. Let me pick it up and become a photographer.
Right.
And, my father inherited about 10 cameras from his aunt, and then I ended up getting one of them by default. And when you're 6 or 7 and you get a camera handed to you and strap on, do good. Okay, cool. So you can't not be good when you've been doing it for a million years, pretty much.
Right.
And then everything else, just spiritual path brought me, Reiki healing and people. I've seen them since I was little, so that kind of brought me.
Were you like the little kid in The Sixth Sense at first? Were you like?
No, because I didn't
hold breath.
I didn't think it was wrong.
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing all of this, and I'm thinking that that's how everybody else sees it. And then my mother was a genius because her grandmother, and then I'm finding out that her mother and my mother were also psychic.
Okay.
It's like I'm pulling it out of my family. Never out of the ordinary. No. Okay. But now, and Grandma used to read tea leaves, and this one used to talk here. So my mother, rather than discourage when I would say things, she would encourage it. Yeah. So what did that person say to you? And meanwhile, she knew it was my dead aunt or a dead person that she knew. And, this person said this, that, and the other thing. And she knew my stuff, and she's saying it. So she goes, there's something a little different. Yeah. So I just thought that was normal.
Woof. Yeah. I'm glad that my family's not psychic. I don't think anybody in my family is psychic, and I'm glad. They already know too much stuff. I come from a family of know-it-alls. We don't need to know anything ethereal. Like whatever's in reality, we stick with that. I believe it. I totally believe it. So now, today, you are here for so many reasons. We are going to talk about... Okay, so you guys who come in, you know that this show is all about lively conversations about different topics relating to love and relationships. And sometimes I have special guests, like my friend Beth today, in games and activities. We always get a chance to laugh or cry or just learn something new. That's what we're here to do. And that is why this is a conversation. So before we talk about the topic of today, I just want to let everybody know, I see Denise joined, I see Peggy, I see Donna, all of you who have come in, and those of you who are coming in, those of you, right? Thank you for being here, number one. And number two, just know that this is a convo. You can interact with us. We are both talkers, and we'll both talk a lot.
And we've known each other for
We've known each other for a very long time.
We haven't seen each other forever.
It's true. Like all the TV years and all so much missed time. But here's the thing. We're not here to shame each other, shame our love situation. Our only intention is to create audacious intimacy, seductive singlehoods, and healthy relationships. So feel free to join the conversation and talk about what's going on with you. Tonight, we are talking about turning a soul-crushing, abusive relationship into a loving, safe, and passionate love life. How does one do that? I see Angela and Drew just joined. Angela, what's up?
Do I know
Drew,
Angela?
my love. I don't think you know Angela. Angela is one of my Facebook friends and also a client. So I have different people who are from different stages of life who join in on the Facebook. We never know.
I love this.
But because we're doing this, we're all friends, right? So now you know Angela. You can say what's up to Angela.
Loving it.
Beth, Angela.
So good
Beth.
to meet you.
So what we're going to talk about, like I said, soul-crushing abusive relationship into a loving, safe, and passionate love life. Now, here's the thing about this. You know that I am all about, what is possible in our lives, right? So if you're currently in an unhappy or an abusive situation, what we're going to be talking about is how do you change that around. Whether it involves that other person or not is irrelevant. Like whether that means that you're turning around the relationship that you have or getting out of it and getting into a new one that works for you after you take some time off. That's sort of the thing that we're focusing on, is how do you release whatever you're attached to in being in this abusive situations. A lot of times it's money. Sometimes it's concern for what am I going to do? Where am I going to live? What am I going to do with my kids? All that stuff. Whatever you're attached to, what we're going to be talking about is how it is possible to turn it around and get out of something that's not working, or if something is not, hasn't crossed the certain boundaries, being able to turn that around in 180. We're talking about how you can transform your love life as a whole. And if you do get out of an abusive relationship, what you do in the interim. The amazing thing about Beth, and the reason that I brought her on, is that she is a perfect example of what I talk about all the time, which is how you go from being in the thick of an abusive relationship, the time that's in between after you get out of an abusive relationship, and then actually find an amazing love life with a partner in crime who's somebody that you would choose for yourself and have a completely different experience. Beth has lived it. She has lived it. Now, I'm in the stage right now of being in the interim of it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. I love being there.
Wait till you're where I am.
Right? I know, that's going to be cool. So I'm excited for that, too. But, we're going to I'm going to ask Beth some questions. Beth is going to tell us about her trajectory and kind of how it, wherever you want to start as far as the abusive relationship was concerned, and, what the sort of pathway was. Take it away, my love.
All right, so I'm going to give you the quick and the short, which Beth stories are really not. So so basically, I was married before. This is my second marriage. I was married before. It was a relationship that was about 7 or 8 years of dating. No, actually, it was 5. I'm reversing it. 5 years of dating, and then 7 or 8 years of marriage. My ex-husband, I just want to put on the side because I actually am friends with my ex-sister-in-law on Facebook, so you never know, she might be watching. I do own. Yeah, I'm not bad-mouthing. I'm not bashing. I do own my 50%. At the time of my relationship, my ex-husband was not owning his 50%. And I did everything from therapy for myself. I was under psychiatric care when I was a teenager, in my 20s, with him in my 30s, group sessions, and also marital sessions because it got so bad. Drugs. This is a known fact. There was also some lying. He didn't cheat on me with a woman, but it was just like the cheating was happening for a relationship. He was using drugs, and there was like things going on within his family that he was concentrating on. His brother ended up passing away due to an overdose. So there was a lot of issues that he wasn't facing and or confronting or dealing with, and he just shut down. Here, I'm taking the drugs, and then our relationship fell apart. And it did. It got emotionally volatile. It got on at the very end. I told him I was leaving him. I'm not going to say it. I was at my grandmother's funeral. I asked him for the at my grandmother's funeral because he called me the C word and the B word.
At your grandmother's funeral?
That was it. So it was 2 years of me trying with the therapy and so many other alternatives. I had senior citizen neighbors that had been married for I don't even remember how many. 6. I would go and talk to them and say, how are you keeping, how did you get through the hard times, the bad times when he didn't have a job or, you guys were struggling. And I listened and they tried to talk to him and it was any alternative.
What would they say to you, just out of curiosity?
Oh, they were just because they're from a whole different generation.
Oh, yeah.
And there was so much love. I mean, it was so beautiful. I loved these. It was Grace, and I can't believe that I can't remember his name, but he passed away years and years ago. And they were just like, something, you married for better or for worse, and that's how we were raised. Ooh. There was no alternative. Yeah. So no matter what the case was, she's raising the family, she's making the food, and yes, if I didn't have the job and I wasn't bringing in, I went out and I got it. I did what I had to do. I made sure that I brought food home. Yeah, there was fights, but he would always walk it off. And he was like the best man. And then I knew his grandchildren.
Abusers are always very charming.
Yeah, no, and I'm not. This is the 80-year-old couple. They were beautiful. My ex was the most charming person on the planet.
Was he?
And he's actually still friends with some of my cousins on Facebook too.
Oh, okay.
Not sending out. But they told me, and they're like, we love him. He was so wonderful to us.
Yeah.
And I said,
and those days are over, so it's not like,
it's if I saw him in ShopRite, I would say hello to him because I've forgiven. I like I said, I accept my responsibility. It was a different time, a different place. I wasn't owning his share. I wasn't owning my share at the time. Bad. Yeah. It was bad. I was supposed to stay longer, and we owned a house together. I was supposed to stay longer because what you were saying before, money, getting out, leaving the situation. I didn't have the money to get out. We had just done all this construction. All our money was invested there. So I said, I'm going to stay here. I'll stay in the other bedroom. Stay in this bedroom. We'll work it out. And then he started drinking more and started doing drugs, and that's when it got physically. I had to leave. So I pretty much called in. And something? I'm actually going to give Maury Povich a shout out. I got Maury Povich. Nick, Maury Povich is getting a shout out.
You're talking abuse.
My hand got true story. Maury Povich found out because I was in the process of leaving, and my friend said that they would give me money when you that you're in a bind. And then they paid whatever income tax it was, $1,000, and they give me all the money. In an apartment. Okay. Or he'd come to me with lawyer, money, a shoulder to cry on. I'd worked for Maury for about 15 years at this point. I'm good. But I went back to him a week later and I said, I'm sorry, I need $15 to finalize an apartment. Yeah. You don't need $5,000. You don't need $10,000. No worry, I just need $1,500. I'm good. 3 weeks, my income tax return is coming back. But thanks. And 3 weeks later, and he hugged me and he put it in my back pocket and he ran away from me. It was really cute and adorable. And then I got my income tax return, and 3 weeks later, I put it in the 104. It was like 120s and the rest in hundreds. And I shoved it in his back pocket. I gave him a hug and I ran away. And he said, "That was my gift." And I said, not my dad. You're my boss, and I love you, and I respect you, and thank you. And so, in times of need, you're going to see there's going to be people out there that you're never going to expect. I never expected Maury Povich to be my saving angel at a time that I was desperate, and I needed to get out of the house because this man hurt me. Yeah. And to be honest with you, he ended up breaking my... It was something I had no idea. How did I not know? And it was something where he did not hit me. We were arguing, and he had my hands, and I was pulling back from him, and I kept on saying, let me go, because he was kind of jostling me around, and I pulled back, and I ended up hitting myself, so it was kind of like I blamed myself for it, but had me not been there, that wouldn't it's crazy. So I'm that girl. I've been there. I've been through, so I know what it's like to be in that relationship where your ego, I wasn't even telling my friends. You didn't know that. You've known me forever. Yeah. Half my friends don't know that. Yeah. It's just one of those things that you kind of hide the secrets and you bury it and you face on and you have to do. And the C and the B word day with the grandma's funeral, that was the day before Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving I went and I got out.
That was the straw.
I hung out with my parents and I said I'm officially getting a divorce, and that was the start of word has been cut, and now let's figure something out.
You mentioned something that I talk about a lot, and I love that you said this, because I do think, and having been in an abusive relationship too, it's like one of the hardest things to do is to see yourself like just getting out of it and walking away, because you're so busy okay, I got to take responsibility for how I did and what I did, and he's troubled and he's going through this, and what would I look like if I just walked away from him, all that story, right? But I honestly do believe that when we do, when that switch goes off, like you said, the straw that broke the camel's back, when he's calling you names and stuff like that at your grandmother's funeral, when that switch goes off, it's like all of a sudden it's like you align with the universe, and the universe says, here's Maury Povich to offer you some money to help you do this. It's so true. Everybody doesn't know Maury Povich, but the universe will give you the things you need the moment you get aligned with taking care of yourself again.
It's so true.
And not compromising yourself.
And were you one of the ones who was privy to my amazing apartment on the beach in the Bronx?
No, I heard about it. I remember you talking about
Liz,
it.
you know about this apartment. She came and shot my closet when I was downsizing and moving in with my now husband.
Yeah.
But I'm not even kidding you. I am working New Year's Eve in the city because I was delving into work so that I wouldn't, devil's, what is it, the idle hands or the devil's tools. Yeah. So I was trying to work as much as I possibly could. I'm at work at this point. I'm going through the paper. It's the night shift. I'm working. It's like 10 o'clock. And I see an ad for an apartment in the Bronx. And it says beachfront apartment. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I just happened to say, call it. Yeah. I call. I get the man on the phone New Year's Eve. He takes my phone call. He makes an appointment with me the next day, 10 o'clock. I went to this apartment. It was a beach in the Bronx that I never knew was there. Throgsneck Bridge, Whitestone Bridge.
Oh, I love it over there.
That was my backyard.
It's beautiful.
The balcony that I had to not face the beach, but it faced the front. I had loft ceilings. It was a duplex. It was phenomenal.
Oh my God.
I walked in. The guy said, well, we have an an electrical engineer looking at it, a lawyer, a doctor, and his two little kids. Dad, no, we want her. And they said, okay, we're...
Because the kids!
The angel...
The kids from the universe.
Communicated through the kids. And I got the most beautiful, magnificent apartment. Like there was no tomorrow. Yeah. So that was where the money came in that Maury gave to me. And it was far enough away because my ex-husband actually, when he would get drunk after we separated, would follow me or try to, he stalked me. Yeah. And I actually had friends in the business that had to make recordings of my answering machine. Happens to me. Wow. I was afraid for my life for
last known whereabouts.
So this is not, I'm not I'm not making light of this, and this is so many years ago. I've been married to my now husband for 10, going on 11 years.
And he's fantastic. I know Anthony.
So I can, he's amazing. And I can laugh about that at this point. Yeah. It's like I'm writing the book, and the series will be out at some point.
Yeah. Well, I also want you to share with us the trajectory with what once you came out of it, got the great apartment, and I love that area near the Throgsneck Bridge. When you were in that space and then meeting Anthony, I want you to share that with us. But first, I just want to say hello to the new people who are coming in on Facebook Live, because I see Joe Savino. Joe Savino is the armed radioed guy. He's the one who called me. And
Joe Savino?
Right? Hey, Joe. What's going on? He's talking to us. What's he saying? The coach and I are watching. I love it that you and the coach from T-Bones I don't know. Oh, in Salem. T-Bone's in Salem. Hey, everybody at T-Bone's in Salem. We're here talking about love, going from abuse to bliss. I see Rebecca's here. Jen is here. Liz is interacting with us. She said she didn't know either about the past.
I thought I told you. And all our bar nights. Oh, my God.
See, all y'all are here to like the girlfriend conversation that should have went on, and now we're having it. Now we're sharing all this stuff.
And this is such, something just being in the business and doing what I do as far as being a psychic medium, healer. I deal with people, like I'm a life coach as well, but I have dead people kind of helping to advise. So it's one of those things that
like Abraham Hicks.
Yeah, very true. But I've had so many other women tell me the same exact story. And when I say to them, because they look at me like, oh my God, you're a psychic and you're helping me. And I'm like, no, but I'm kind of happy that I went through it. And not happy, so to speak.
No,
it's kind
grew
of weird.
you. It's what
but it made me who I am, and I can relate to all these other women, because I'm going to say, out of 10 women, 8 or 9 have had, and it might not be the physical abuse, but there's an emotional. I've heard of so many women dealing with sociopaths, and in this day and age, it's a very hard. Yeah, it's a very hard situation for single women to be dating, because it's just, it's a sex-driven environment where people really aren't looking for relationships anymore. It's just sex. So that's another thing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, here's the thing, too, because we're going to be talking about this abuse thing. And, obviously we're women, so it's from a female point of view. But what I do want to say, because I always want to give this disclaimer, and some women, like, they get a little upset when I do this, because I don't believe in victim blaming or shaming or anything like that, but I always want to remind that for all the men that we talk about that are abusers, that have these issues or whatever, that we know that there's also a ton of men out there who are wonderful and sweet and providers and, great with kids and good fathers and doing what it is that, is aligned with their better selves. So, I don't want anybody like reaching out to me, sending me any emails that we're man bashing or anything like that.
I love men so much, it's not even funny. And thank God my husband Anthony, and I can't even say my new husband because he's husband, but
no, you guys got like a decade.
But but it's thank God he understands. My best friend for life is a guy. Like, I've known him since I was about 14, 15 years, and the majority of my friends are men.
Yeah.
So I get it, and especially in
you work mostly with men. I remember from TV, we used to always work with all men. There's very few women backstage.
I'm the only woman on the floor, and occasionally I'll have a female audio person come in.
Yeah.
But otherwise I'm working with about 30 men, and I'm in charge.
And they're all great guys.
I love them.
Crew guys in TV are fantastic.
Something though, I have to admit, there have been situations. I'm just going to sidebar for a second. I have 3 sexual harassment situations that I've dealt with in the TV industry from people that were on camera. And then I have one of, people, it's like, a bunch of different people that I've worked with.
Yeah.
I've had penis pictures sent to me.
What?
You name it.
Unsolicited?
Yep, crazy. Like getting drunk and where I've gone in and the next day and said, well, it was wonderful for you to send me your picture of your penis. I'm going to be showing this to every single person that we work with right now. And this is way before this whole thing. I would rather shame you, and I dealt with it my way. And then they're like, oh, God, I'm going up to act like, oh, hey,
did you see that?
And then they would see the phone like, oh gosh, that girl now. And then the girls, I would do it on purpose, because then all the girls that I worked with, for the guys, there was about 3 or 4 in the industry of 20 years that have done this to me, that they would be looked at differently. Like, shame on you.
Oof. I don't understand. Like, I don't know. The guys who send unsolicited penis pictures, I don't know who told you guys. Like, if any of you are listening, let me just put this out there. If this woman has not already seen your penis in person because she wanted to and chose to, and has like been with it and sucked on it and been on it, don't send her a picture of it. And you're not going to win her over.
I swear to God, going to work these days, we just head off from my job for a week. I work over the Today Show. So I walk back in after a week off. There's guys that I love. I've been with them for 6 months, 7 months, and there's some that I've known for 20 and 30 years, whatever the case may be. And everybody's like, hey, Beth. So I'm going, come here. I haven't seen you in a week. Give me a hug. Give me some sugar.
But you're like,
so
don't send me a penis pic. Let's be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, now we're way off topic.
I know, right?
I want us to get back onto. So you had your in-between time. Now you're in like recovery mode. You're in your great apartment in Throgs Neck. And what happens after that?
I just started grounding myself.
Yeah.
And drinking.
Okay.
I swear to God, I told you I wasn't going to lie.
No, that's good.
So I went out on a bender, and then in between benders, because like I told you guys, I lived on a beach, and my landlord and his wife and their 2 children were beautiful, and they gave me carte blanche. My landlord worked so much that they were never home, so I was on the beach just walking it all the time, bare feet. And I'm not kidding you. I did. I went down the shore, summer. I had fun, and I went out with dates, and I had the best time. And you know something? It was on my terms. It wasn't like I was going out with all these people and having sex.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no. Now I am empowered. Yeah, you want to spend $1,500 on me in one night on a date? Well, thank you very much. You can kiss me on the cheek. This is lovely. I had a great time. Okay. So it was getting to know me again, and I almost, like, I call it, like in Seinfeld, the summer of George. I was calling it the summer of Beth, but it was also Beth at her 26th year, which in my head, my 26th year was my most fun. That was when I kind of, like, you come out of your teens and your early 20s and you feel like you're a woman. Yeah, and you're like, okay, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to get my own apartment. And, now I'm going to go out on a serious date. So I felt like I was 26, but now I'm in my 30s at this point, and it was empowering. I felt really good about myself, but then, trust me, there was nights that I sat out on my beach at 3 o'clock in the morning because I could not sleep, hysterically crying. Yeah. I mean, crying from my guts and my soul, where I couldn't even stop, and I needed to, and I purged it all out, and I got to know me. I journaled a lot, so I recommend that, ladies, like, just journal, get it all out, and then look back at it and read who you were then versus who you are now. And I still do. I constantly do. But then I kind of saw who I was. Dated around, met a lot of people. Anthony and I ended up meeting. I was doing a documentary for my friend. I was doing on-camera interviews, and I had never met the band nor seen them.
First of all, let me interrupt you, because I love that you met a good guy that's like
a rock and roller.
Yeah, like stereotypically a bad guy, he's like a great musician. Too. He's good looking. He's so sweet.
I know.
But like everything about him, if you just saw from the outside and you judged him stereotypically, you would think bad boy. But no, he's been fantastic.
You have no idea. I've actually gotten into not fights, but party debates with women whose husbands are lawyers, and like I said before, I'm friends with mainly men. I've been out and about in situations where it's a huge group, and the women that I'm like, oh, we're all out to dinner now, and the wives never come out. There's like 3 of them that I met 3 times, and your husband's a, how could you trust him? And blah, blah, pointing the finger, and like having doubt, and I'm looking at them going, worry about that. And in my head, I'm just putting it out there, and I'm going, I've seen your husband. Like, that's the sad thing, is don't judge a book by its cover ever. It's so not right.
Yeah.
So I was so lucky to have met him and met his friends, and it was wonderful, and got to know each other, and we enjoyed each other's, like, conversation.
Yeah,
because I really wasn't looking to get involved in a relationship, and I was just enjoying, I was working a lot.
That's another thing too. They always come around when you're not looking.
Of course. And that's my always, now that I'm married and happy and this and that, I always tell my girlfriends, just look.
Yeah, stop focusing on
focus on you and being single and just enjoying and make all the plans with your girlfriends. And I said, the second that you have like your whole summer lined up with all these perfect dates, that's when the man's coming.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
So we just, we took our time, and little by little got together. He took me out. My first date was ridiculous, by the way. Our first official date, I worked at ESPN, where I got out of work. It was an early night, so I got out of work at midnight. We met each other at Hogs and Heifers.
Oh, really?
Downtown.
I've heard of that. I've never actually gone there.
It closed down.
Did it really?
It's the dirtiest dive bar on the. It was so wonderful. It was dirty. They had the bartenders would wear like little short shorts and cute little bra tops, and they'd get up on the bar and they'd have these bullhorns and they'd call you out and pour shots down your throat. It's like disgusting.
Coyote
Ugly is basically based on that, but it's not first date material.
Okay.
So I just knew, like, when I met Anthony, I knew that there was something special about this guy, and my female intuition and my psychic stuff was going, and I'm going. He wasn't even my type. I mean, he's my type, but he wasn't even my type. It was just like, and he had a girlfriend too. Oh, I forgot, he had a girlfriend. They were breaking up.
Okay.
So
that didn't last long.
Oh no! And I looked him in the eye and I said, "Don't let me be a catalyst for something that I shouldn't be a catalyst for." And he goes, "Oh no, don't worry."
I was going to say, which you can't. Here's the thing about this, and it's what always kills me about when women get mad at other women for no woman can take your man unless he wants to go. No, exactly. I mean, it's just true. And I'm not advocating, getting men to cheat or being the other woman. I'm not advocating any of that. But if, a man wants to be with a woman, and your man leaves you for another woman, blame it on him.
Exactly.
Because it's not her fault. They don't go unless they want to go.
It's so true. I'm sidebarring for 1 second. I'm giving an example. My first true love ended up on me. And I ended up, I knew the girl. She was from my town. And I ended up seeing her out, and I said, "Listen, I know that this isn't you.
Yeah,
you're a sweetheart. Yeah. You're adorable." And I said, "I don't blame you." And I said, "I want to kill you right now, but
yeah."
But I said, now I know. I'm no longer with him. It's all good, whatever, But that's the thing. You can't blame.
We're always on each other. We're always
women embrace each other already. Yeah. Come on, the more you empower each other, the better off you are. It's me. I try to compliment. I look for good. I don't care what your situation is. It's just.
We got to uplift each other. Now we're on a whole nother track. I know. So I'm going to get us right back on track.
So good.
So here's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. If you sort of picture the beginnings of your abusive relationship and you picture that side by side with the beginnings of your relationship with Anthony, what are some big differences that are so you wouldn't have noticed before, but now it's just glaringly obvious that if you would have seen that picture beforehand?
My first husband was a complete narcissist.
Okay.
He was a bartender. He asked me out a bunch of times before I said yes, because I went to his bar. It was right around the house from my parents. Right around the corner from my parents' house. Mm-hmm. So I was still living at home. I was transferring into my own apartment. But we had mutual friends in common. But this guy, it was just looking back and calling him this guy, just from stranger's point of view.
Yeah.
Just very showy, and he looked like John Stamos.
Okay.
So that was the other thing.
Yeah.
He was handsome. Back in the day, he looked like John Stamos. People used to call him that, call him Blackie.
It wasn't, he was Blackie John Stamos, not even Full House John Stamos. Blackie.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding you.
Okay.
So he definitely knew
now I get it.
He's a bartender, and in my neck of the woods, I'm sure all over the country, same thing is true. Bouncers, bartenders, band members. Okay. The 3 Bs.
Yeah.
Hot guys. Snaps their fingers.
Oh, yeah. I had a bouncer.
I know. It's the 3 Bs, and I've always said it. So basically, this guy
is so trashy.
It's the truth, though. He knew he could get anybody, and I was the one that got away. Mm-hmm. So I was a challenge, and then I can remember going over his house for the first time, and he was the Italian baby, and the mother. Oh my God. Bella. Bella. But Bella, she literally took me aside. She was like, "You're a real career woman. I don't know if you're ever going to be taking care of my husband or my son like you would a wife." It was like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I go, I should have ran. And I never wanted kids. I don't know. Ever since I was a little kid, I knew that I was supposed to do bigger and better things and save the world, make the world my baby. So I never wanted kids, and that was another thing. It was the pressure of the kids. And as soon as we got married, he's like, let's have. I love you so much, and I saw it was a lot of control aspects to the relationship. So with Anthony, it was more about me. He wanted to know about me, and we talked.
You were a person,
and he made me feel so
traditional girl,
unbelievably beautiful, because he would tell me stories about and then I saw him. He'd be on the stage, and I would hang out in this place that. 2 different. Jenkinson's was one, where if you've ever been to Jenkinson's, it's in Point Pleasant. It's huge. They open up the garage doors. There's a deck out back. There's people that go out on the beach. There's probably 5,000 people at my husband's show. Mm-hmm. And I'm just dating him at this point. Mm-hmm. And he's telling me, walk from here to there. And he's describing what I was doing. And he's watching me through a crowd of 5,000 people.
Yeah.
And he said, and then you had your hat on, you took it off. And oh my God. And he would describe, I saw you walk past for a second and you your jacket off, and I'm going, and he gave me,
and he was on stage?
He was on stage.
Wow.
And he would watch me, and everybody would say, we would see where he would look, because we'd see his eyes too intent, and then they would see me, and they're like, oh girl, he's in love with you. People would come up to us, and they could see her when we first got together.
Girls love shit like this.
Oh, it was crazy. And then he gave me, this was it.
Mm-hmm.
So of those huge phone book style, like astrology books for the signs that are together, and he had like left in there like mine and his.
Like he knew what you were into, and he gifted you based on what you're interested in. That's really sweet.
It was like one of our other dates where it was like the first time that we hung out at his house together, and he sang a song to me guitar. I was like,
we're such suckers for this sort of thing.
I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, oh my God, I love him. I do, like, I'm so crying. Oh my God.
I love you too, babe.
I know, and it made me cry just
for doing that for my friend.
It was so, after going through so much crap,
Yeah.
and do you guys know my secrets now? I was in a horribly, horribly abusive relationship. And you know something? I blame myself big time because from my first real love, like the boyfriend from high school, into like mini relationships here and there. Like I was a relationship girl. I was never really just, I'm gonna have sex with you. My parents raised me very well, and I was afraid, to be honest with you. But I kept on going after the same relationships that I got involved with were the same guy.
Yeah.
And then Anthony was everything that I was looking for real.
Yeah.
When I was finally ready to say, this is what I can handle, and this is what I can accept, because I finally was able to, I love myself.
Yes.
I knew me again.
Amen,
I knew me, and that's why I was talking, and that's why I brought up the grounding at the beach, and the crying, and, the whole going through the motion, getting drunk.
Yeah.
I admit it. I got drunk plenty. Yeah, oh my God, there was so many. I was on the phone, I had like cousins and friends around California. I'm like, oh, I can't even, I am drunk. But I need to talk to somebody. And they're like, we know, girl.
But I also think, too, like, I think when you get out of a relationship, whether it was abusive or not, there's a grieving process. And the grieving process ebbs and flows. So there's like your times of numbing and your times of feeling. So the crying and all of that and the getting it out on the beach is like, I'm feeling it, processing it, letting it come through. And we women are just, generally better at doing that than men. And then the other side of that is the getting drunk, which is the numbing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I think the reason people have difficulty getting over a relationship is because they do too much of the numbing and not enough of the processing. So it's good that you found that balance.
And that's, something, what I'm noticing in this society too, because I lived in Key West for 6 years with my husband. We were victims of Hurricane Irma, so that's what brought us back up here. Mm-hmm. Being down in Key West, it's a tourist community where people drink all the time. Mm-hmm. And I was drinking down there too, because I was kind of going through a whole self-exploration thing and going through things in my life. Like I just moved out of the New York area. Granted, I'm with my love, but, I was like, who am I anymore?
Yeah.
So I came back up north, and I'm seeing it. Like in Key West, I get it. It's an escape town. Tourists, you're bonding. That's the deal. I worked as a photographer. I worked booking music. I worked as a bartender. A whole lot of jobs that I was able to live that kind of lifestyle, so it's justifiable. But up here, we're addicted to like the Adderalls, the Ritalins, cocaine. I'm seeing a lot of cocaine, and it's not just out because I'm really not going out that much. But even people that are not at my job per se, but
in the industry,
yeah,
definitely.
And it's like a big percentage, and it's not even like, I'm not saying drugs, but I'm just saying a lot of alcohol and a lot of escapism.
Yeah, and
people really need to, and there's a shift going on. People really need to kind of because it's not that bad.
Yeah. Feel it to heal it.
This is coming from a woman that got beat,
right? No, it's true.
It's true.
But I always say you got to feel it to heal it. Now, here's another question I have for you. What is the big difference in who you are and what you bring, or what you brought to your past relationship and what you bring to your current relationship, separate of who they were and how they were? Like when you look at yourself, like what are just a couple things that are just, when you compare who you were in that abusive relationship to who you are now, like what are some standout things?
The person that I am now, I just know who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm at the age where I'm not gonna settle. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna stand up for myself, and I'm not gonna. It's just my priorities are different. Or I might, and not even something, because this is gonna sound weird and awkward. I make the sacrifices that I need to for my husband, and he makes sacrifices that I don't even think twice about it. And we become this one. Like I said, we've been married for 10 years, so it's just we're one. So whatever the other one needs, here's his sacrifice to me. I have to be at work at 5:30 in the morning. I would do the same for him. Back in the day, I might have let people walk over me. Like I let my ex-husband walk over me. I rolled over. I conceded. With Anthony, though, I don't really like. I think that I'm more the rabble rouser in the family. I get uppity. I have like OCD issues, and then I need, because I'm going out and working crazy hours, so I can let things get crazy where I'm coming home, I'm throwing my clothes on the floor, and then like 3 days later, 4 days later, the clothes are still going to be there.
Yeah.
But then I'm freaking out, going, "Oh my God, there's glasses in the sink, and I need a glass, and I have nothing, and I need to go." And I'm like, "What's going on? Why did you load the dishwasher?" So I get a little uppity, but I just let it go now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." I just yelled at you, and I'm an idiot. And then I'll laugh at myself, and I go. Whereas before, I would hold on and around and let people roll over me, and just
hold the resentment.
Yeah, accept it, and then also, I stayed in my last relationship for 2 years too long. Like I did a lot of waiting around and not really realizing how short life really is.
Yeah.
Now I'm prioritizing. No, we're doing this now. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's live.
See, what I'm hearing and what you're saying, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that either way there's compromise. But in the first one, the compromise was about pleasing. Yeah. And in the second one, the compromise is about being part of the team.
Exactly.
Which I think is like the huge.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Yeah.
And I felt like I would be walking on eggshells. I didn't please, and I went to a psychic after the master. I ended up having a psychic call. So my nickname for my ex-husband is Little Master, because he would boss me around all the time.
Yeah,
he was a bully.
Yeah.
And it was about pleasing, about making him okay in order for us to coexist. Yeah. If it wasn't okay, then nobody could be
How abusers are so, because I had a similar dynamic with my relationship. They're so good at finding us codependents. Those of us who are in a place, obviously we've grown past that, but those of us who are in a place, and if you're out there and you're in this place of wanting people to like you or wanting your significant other to validate you or be pleased by you or to meet up to some standard, usually it's a parental standard that we then segue into a romantic standard. But those of us who are really codependent in that way and trying to be someone's good girl, whatever that is for that person, for some reason, abusers, they attract to it like a magnet. They will find you and they will make sure to, make your life a living hell.
It's so true. so true. It's too easy. And it's like I come from a long line of trying to please the male role models in my life, whether it was my father, my grandfather, even my brother. My father would use, because my brother was super, super smart growing up. He would get A's, and everything that he did turned to gold, and you're just as smart as him. Why aren't you getting the A's, and what's wrong with you? And so I always felt like I had to jump to a higher level and please, and I just brought it with me, which is silly.
Yeah. I don't think it's silly. I think it is part of our process. You know what I mean? Like, it feels silly now because once you're out of it, you're like, what was I thinking? But when you're in it, it's like there's this story of I'm not enough if I don't do. Yeah. Yeah. And if I don't put myself, in these positions, or if I don't say yes when I mean no, or no when I mean yes, it's like you have a story that I'm not enough just on my own. So you don't know any better.
I know.
And there's something about the crystallization of like, okay, I am enough. Like, I don't have to bend over backwards to be whatever it is you think I should be, whether it's your parents or, like you said, the male figures in your family or your romantic partner. There's something about the crystallization of figuring that out when the light bulb goes off, where you're like, I don't have to be what it is you've decided I need to be. It's like, hallelujah, honey.
I know.
It's like emancipation.
I felt like I could breathe.
Yeah.
When it finally happened. And it was so crazy because I knew that when that did happen with the C word and the B word, I knew that it was my grandmother strength that she made him say it that day. And she's like, I got you.
Yeah.
It was the best thing that ever happened. I can't even tell you. I letting go, and it was so hard. It was 2 years. It was 2 and there's so many other circumstances that led up to that, and they were so negative. I don't even want to go into it because it's too long a story, but it was like just negative upon negative upon negative, and I was so buried underneath it that I couldn't even outside of the relationship. I didn't realize how truly horrific it was. I was getting sick all the time. I was like looking at pictures of myself from back then. Circles underneath.
Oh yeah, because you look terrible when you're in an abusive relationship. It's just there's no.
Yeah,
I have an aunt who tells a story of she was married to my blood uncle, but we loved her. She was part of the family, and my uncle has since passed away, and he was like an alcoholic abuser. He was one of the worst, and she talks about it. She's just a funny character anyway, and we look back on it now, we can laugh because it's in the past.
Right.
But she talks about being just discombobulated all the time. Like she's like, I would walk out, I would go to the bathroom, and I would walk out with my skirt tucked into my pantyhose and my ass out. Like stupid stuff would happen to her all the time because she was in such a state of like discombobulation. And you not only physically look different. I totally physically look different. First of all, by the time I got out of my abusive relationship, I had gained so much weight, and it took a long time. Like even in the grieving process, like now I just started shedding the weight, so I'm getting back to like
I became a size
what's
0.
healthy. Did you? I never had that problem where I'm upset and I get skinny. If I'm skinny, I'm happy. You skinny bitches who like, oh, I'm so sad I can't eat. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm sad. Give me some cake. Like,
let's be down. Now I just want cake all the time.
Right? It's like, please, where's the chocolate? Man, that broke my heart.
So
I need a bowl of batter.
I was like her. I was the same way. I had 2 situations, and it doesn't matter the situations that led to it.
Yeah.
Driving around, I had to escape my husband, so I had a Volkswagen convertible that I bought. I couldn't stand him so much that I took off one day, and I bought a new car. I bought a convertible for myself, and I suffered the wrath of hell. He was yelling at me one day, and I was like, I have to get out. There was all this crap going on the side, and I was 25, and I'm doing like 45, and I got pulled over by a older white police officer. Thank God she was a female.
Yeah.
And she comes up to the side of the car, and I just started crying. I couldn't even control myself. And she's like, what's going on? And I blurted everything out. She goes, oh, honey, I am so sorry. Do you need me to call a counselor for you?
Oh, wow.
Can we, you need to go to a shelter or something? And I said, no, I'm dealing with it. That's why I'm here. And then there was another time that was shortly thereafter. I had to go to the doctor for something, ill health. I walk in, there's like heavy set, black woman, boobs, and she's the physician's assistant. So she's like, okay, your vitals, your stats. And she's like, what's going on? And I was like, I'm here for she's like, and even worse.
She's like, come here, come to mama's bosom. Let me hold you.
5 minutes. I sat and cried in this woman's arms. So I get it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, it is. It totally is.
And it said, it really discombobulates you. It screws you up. Time doesn't come anymore. You just,
you're just like existing, trying to get through it. The time is going. Speaking of time, it's going by so fast, and we only have 9 minutes. I want to squeeze in these last little bits of things. So now, thanks. First of all, let me say thank you, Beth, for everything that you've shared.
Don't waste time on that. That's all good.
Well, no, but I want to say, because it's a big deal for people to share what's going on with them. And one thing, those of you who keep coming back, thank you for keep coming back. I will be doing this with every show. It's going to be all about we're bearing our souls, we're sharing our things, and sharing our things is hard, which is why I say, if you want to join the conversation, it's cool. If not, I get it. Like, just take what you can get from it and, take it home with you and use it how you need to use it, to make your love life sweeter. But, I want to say thank you for telling us your story. Thank you for the share. Welcome. You have no idea the amount of people out there who you might have saved, like, many lives tonight.
Because you're not alone. Yeah. That's the thing. Nobody's alone. We've all gone through it.
Yeah. So we don't know. Those of you out there who, if you're sitting in an abusive relationship right now, like, just let this be a beacon of light to you. Just some sort of hope that you don't have to be in it. You don't have to be a pleaser. You don't have to be in a codependent situation, and that you are enough without this person, and that there is someone out there for you when you're ready to actually value yourself, who will make all the difference in the world in your life. My friend Beth is proof.
So true.
And I believe this, like 100%. Even though I'm not with that person yet, they're in my ethers, and I'm not pining away because I know they're there. Like, I believe it so strongly. But here's the thing: I feel like when I tell you guys, you're like, but you're single. How do you know? Well, I'll tell you. Here's some proof.
And I was exactly like her. So
you just got to know it. You just got to know it's true. So now here's some things that I definitely want to get out there. For this is for women who are in their interim. Whether you were in an abusive relationship or not, if you're in your singlehood right now and you're kind of not loving it, or you're numbing, or you're, whatever's going on with you, I do have a course that's coming up. I'm not here to plug the course, but I wanted to share, not just yet, because it's not available for sale yet, but I wanted to share some of the things that I'm doing that's like making all of the difference in my life. And my friend here, Beth, will back me up. She even touched on some of the things that she did some similar things, when she heard from living on the beach. Now, I'd love to be living on the beach. I'd be doing yoga on it every day. So here are just 3 things that are like the biggest part of what I'm doing. So understanding why I even want a relationship in the first place. So every relationship that I've gotten to in the past was either out of fitting into tradition, or because I thought it was what I was supposed to do. It was the next logical step. And with this last one, which was the most difficult, like challenging one I've ever had, was me in a story of that, I'm not enough on my own. I should be in a relationship. I'm convinced by social media I got to have what other people have. Yeah. I'm comparing and despairing. Like, this person's got this and I need to have it all and I don't. I need to fill some hole. And that's exactly how you get in an abusive relationship. So right now, in this like wonderful, beautiful space of like self-love and self-relationship, it's like I can say to myself, what do you want a relationship for? And for me, I want a relationship for being able to just pour into someone else and contribute and just express how loving I am. And I can do that with or without like a romantic relationship. So I'm cool with that. Like that's the understanding that I'm getting to, that it's not about living up to a thing. It's just being ready to love, right? The other thing is I'm practicing major body love. So I'm like, yoga challenge every 30 days, and not because I'm trying to be super skinny or be some perfect picture or anything like that, but like, mirror positivity, like healthy food, masturbation, self-care, like however I can love and take care of myself and like just enjoy each moment and be present for each moment. I'm totally doing that in this seductive, lovely singlehood that I'm enjoying. And then this last one, which I think is the most important no matter what, is exercising my purposefulness. So one of the things that I suffered from after being in an abusive relationship was major depression. And there were 2 reasons for that. One reason was because of my beliefs and what was going on in my reality. It just wasn't aligned. Like, I thought I was supposed to have one thing, but here I was having something else. And it just, like, it was conflict in my body and in my mind. And the other is that I was not connected to my purpose as a human being. So no matter where you're at, if you're in a bad relationship right now, if you're single and you're not happy about it, if things just aren't working, it's that connection to purpose. Like, who am I in the world? What am I here to create? What is larger than I am? What is bigger than me that I can make a difference with someone else, or that I am here to teach, or I am here to learn for myself so that I can be an example to somebody else? Like, getting in touch with that is just...
That's it.
It's been like a cure. It's been an emotional cure, I have to say.
Seriously.
So these things are all like elements that are going to be in my digital course. But I just wanted to like share it with you a little bit. Beth touched on a lot of things, like we were talking about the balance between when you're going through grief, like the numbing and the processing. Feel it to heal it. I always say that. If you're in a sad singlehood right now, whether you had an abusive relationship or not, feel this sadness so you can understand it. Let it happen. Don't drink it away. Have your numbing moments, but let yourself have it. Let yourself have the tears, the sadness. If you're sad because you feel too old to have a baby and you wanted a baby, feel sad about that. It's okay.
Adoption.
There's other options, but
there's always an answer.
There's always an answer. Yeah. And even before you get to the answers, it's like accept that the feelings are there. Yeah. Like, don't be so quick to have to fix it, because that's what we do to ourselves, right? It's like, instantly try to make it better.
Exactly. And patience. Patience.
All right. Now, these last few things I'm going to squeeze in. 3 ways to make your love and life sweeter, which I always have to. Find your body appreciation. Congratulate someone who has achieved something that you aspire to. And comb through your dating profiles and make sure they are 100% the truth. Those are the 3 things that I want you to do this week to make your love and your life sweeter. I see that Joe and Nicole and Julie and Rory came in at some point. I hope you guys are still here. I love you. I love you for joining. Those of you who are listening on the TuneIn app on your smart device, those of you in the garden, those of you here on Facebook Live, those of you who are going to watch and listen later on Spreaker. I know, we love you guys. Those of you in Armed Group News, love you, love you, love you. If you're not in that group yet, join it. If you're not in the Creative Love Collective yet, join it. So, Beth, what do you want to plug really quickly? Because we still got to get a couple more sign-off things.
Starting Facebook, my page is Beth Elise Psychic Medium.
Okay.
I am revamping my website, which is going to be BethElisePsychicMedium.com. So that's under construction right now. I'm starting a psychic night. It's going to be every Thursday in Hoboken at a place called City Bistro.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to start on probably Friday the 13th. And then from there, it'll be every Thursday night. And it's going to be a little bit of everything. Psychic reading. Sessions. I'm going to talk. We're going to build it.
Yay.
It's a great place. Amazing food. The owners are friends of mine. I've known them forever. They're beyond ridiculous as far as their love. And they believe, I've read people in their restaurants so that I have like people that are witnesses to me. You can take the ferry from New York.
I love it.
And just, on whatever. I'll be making announcements, a lot of stuff going on.
So it's BethElisePsychicMedium.com is the website coming up. And you said the name of the place is?
City Bistro.
City Bistro in Hoboken. So we're also going to add that to the comments on this very video. So when you watch this video later on Facebook, you'll get that information. And what else? Yes. We're almost done. My digital course is coming soon. It's called The Secret Art of Seductive Singlehood. I'm going to be giving and it's a full mind, body, and spirit thing. You got to get ready because not only will you be changing your body, you'll be changing your mind, changing your beliefs, all of that stuff, and just transforming to have the seductive singlehood, amazing relationship that you want to create. We got 40 seconds left.
40 seconds.
Sign-off question. What action can I take this week to generate more of what I want to experience in my love life? And as always, until next time, never forget that you are a love machine. If you ever start to feel like you aren't getting the love you need, just make more. And don't forget to ask for candy. Yay! We did it!
I love this.
Right? It's awesome.
So much fun.
Right? We got everything in. That's what we have to come back.
So much fun.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I think we did it. We even did it with a few seconds left. CandiceHarperLoveCoach.com, BethElisePsychicMedium.com.
Correct.
Yes. Make sure to come and check us out. And I timed it I can't believe we actually got everything in.
I hope you guys had fun.
I hope you guys had fun.